But you see as well when we are going to work with AI, we have, for example, saving some time, and what are we going to do with the time, right? We as a human, we always think
Oh
about
yes, yeah. I saw your
doing
post the other
more,
day
doing more.
on LinkedIn.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you were talking about this whole concept, and I think it's a really important concept when it comes to AI, because what does that free time mean? Are you just going to get busier? And that's not
It
really,
is.
or are you going to take the time and do something creative or something that's actually going to make a difference?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Impact of AI Explored, where we have a special guest, Femke Cornelissen. Femke, your role at Wortel is Chief Copilot Officer. It's a unique name, a unique role. What does that mean, and how did you get to be Chief Copilot?
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, it's a really unique role. It's a lot about, I think, influence. So how can we influence our customers? How can we influence the markets? And how can we share a lot around Copilot? So it's, I think, a role that is really on the strategy part. So how can we start the conversation with customers? And yeah, it's a really unique role. I just claimed it. I think I just claimed it. I just thought, okay, I'm Chief Copilot. I put it on my LinkedIn, and now it's everywhere in Wortel as well, on all the things. So I just put it there by myself, and now everyone accepted it.
Yeah, that's one way to claim
That's
a
a
role.
way how you can do it.
Yeah, just make up your own title. There we go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you envisage it, then it exists, and then everyone says, "Oh well, she's obviously the chief
So
co-pilot."
we need to,
Yeah.
we need to go to the chief co-pilot. Ask, no, you need to go to the agent to ask for these kind of
exactly.
questions.
But we are glad we have the real Femke on the show and not an AI agent. So
Exactly.
Right, not yet, right?
yeah, but
No,
in your role
we
as
will never have AI agents on this podcast. Never.
no.
This is humans only on our podcast. We're very strict on that. We think AI is amazing, but we're very much want to talk about the human element behind it.
Awesome.
Obviously, and then hence why I'm wearing this T-shirt, which says "Human in the Loop," which
Yes.
designed and distributed. So I had to wear it for this episode. So if you're listening, I have a black T-shirt on and it says "Human in the Loop."
It's awesome. Thank you for supporting there, because we did
No
this for Dream Space. So for children who want to go to Dream Space and learn about technology and learn about especially AI. So it's awesome that we can help there. Yeah.
Yeah, and a good cause, an awesome cause to help.
Yeah, it is.
To help children stay relevant in the future, where AI is going to be a part of.
Yeah, it is. So it's really nice to do that kind of things. And how can we change and how can we help all around the things that we see in the market? So it's awesome to do. Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of things that we can do, not all of that, but bring back a little bit human in the loop stuff is important. Yeah, and for sure having a conversation with the children as well when they go into dream space and learning new things.
Yeah, exactly. The leaders of the future need to understand what AI can do, and the earlier you start, the better it is.
Yeah, and one of the things that we see there is that most of the time the children already knows more than that we as like the older people knowing about technology. It's really
I have
true.
a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
You just give him a tablet and he's like, he figured out the unlock code on my phone.
Yeah.
So I was going to change it, but he's just good. He just watches me and then he just learns it. And then, so I just gave up. So like if we're in the car, obviously I'm driving. So I just hand him my phone and he controls the music.
Yeah.
It's just
I know
easier.
that problem.
Yeah, exactly. So he just goes in and like the same on the TV, like he changes his icon on Netflix, no problem, all of this. And like, I didn't show him how to do any of this. He just picked it up by himself. And
they are so
It's going to make my
creative.
life
And
interesting in a couple of years, but I have to put even stricter controls on, and he's going to try and figure out a way to bypass them. Yeah.
but there is also
Fun times ahead.
yeah, but there is also a little problem for all the young children when you think about the stopping with technology. They keep going on the screen, keep going on the television. So that's also a thing that we all need to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's also
absolutely.
a real world out there that
Yeah.
also needs your attention, and it's good for you to be there.
Yeah, true. So both things. First they need to learn what technology is and what it can be, and how can you do that in a right way, and also see the other side, the human side.
Exactly. And in your line of work, do you talk to a lot of organizations? That human in the loop part, is that something that you bring up every time? Is that something that you see also the power of Copilot being your, as it says, Copilot, but how do organizations feel and look at that?
Yeah, I talk with a lot of organizations, and most of the time from leadership part. So it's really interesting to think about, okay, what are the things that we need to achieve with AI? I think that's really important to talk about vision and strategy. But you see as well when we are going to work with AI, we have, for example, saving some time, and what are we going to do with the time, right? We as a human, we always think about
yes. Yeah, I saw your
doing
post the other day
doing more.
on LinkedIn.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you were talking about this whole concept, and I think it's a really important concept when it comes to AI, because what does that free time mean? Are you just going to get busier? And that's not really,
It is.
or are you going to take the time and do something creative or something that's actually going to make a difference? And then how does that, like, most companies would probably think, oh, well, we get more out of them. Like, but
True.
it's that balance.
We can have more customers. We can do more work.
Exactly. So it's like, who gets that free time? Is that you can go to the gym for an hour or something, or that helps your mental and physical well-being? Or so I think that's a really fascinating topic, and
it's a culture shift, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a real culture shift, and as I said, as we get more and more AI agents, all of this doing those kind of low-level tasks, how are we still productive and essential in the process? So I think it's as you said, it's a whole different mindset that has to be implemented.
Yeah, true. And I think a lot of organizations thinking about, okay, what are our problems, and why do we need AI, and what kind of way? But there are so many people who just figuring it out by themselves, right? Their own AI tool that people using, but not really with a purpose, but thinking, okay, I also want to find out what it is. But when you really think about, okay, what do we want to achieve, and have some conversation with everyone, and also involve HR, for example, it's really needed to understand what kind of, this is like one of the biggest shifts I think that we go to see. And it's not far away. I think in like 12 months or 60 months, I think everyone needs to work with AI. Especially, we see now a lot of people already, of course, working with AI, and I think everyone has sort of an AI tool. But like thinking about the agentic workplace, I think that's the next step that we need to take. And I think in 12 months, everyone has a few agents around. So it's really interesting to talk with people about that topic, and say, okay, this is something that is happening or already seeing there, but where do you go to start, and how can we help people to get them in the loop of being getting the best out of everything that is there, like the best of themselves. How can they make more impact? How can they do the better role, better job? How, for example, have they more time to go to the gym? I don't know if that's really important. Then that can be something that can help. But it's really nice. I love this time that we are in now.
Yeah, it's a great time to be alive. Exactly. And you talked about agentic AI, so that AI can do stuff on its own and make its own decisions.
Yeah.
I find in the discussions that I have with customers that they're a bit scared about giving AI all of the controls. How do you see that talking in the boardroom to different
Yeah,
people?
I hear that the same. And the other way, I also do other way around as well, because when you have like automation, sometimes you can see that it's more accurate than it's a person who is doing some job or some role or some process or some things in their way of working. So it's I think depends on what kind of situation it is and what kind of work the agents will take over. But yeah, when they see the results or when they have the first start of with the agents part, and then the automation is there as well, then you see like scaling up to even more agents. And I think we are now in a phase in the phase of that we see that people really don't know where to start, right? So they have no priority. They all know we want to do something with this, but what is the best way to keep started, and where do we need to start with that? So I think it's really good to have like your vision and a roadmap around that. Thinking about your security, thinking about your adoption, thinking about what is the roadmap for our organization, and help everyone on to get on that. And one of the things that I really like in this thing that we're doing with Wordell is we do some sessions that we call drag and dance show. So you have the organization, put them all together. You ask in the organization what kind of use cases they are seeing and how it helps them in their work. And then the people from the organization going to showcase their pitch, what they need for kind of solutions. And it's really nice to put that as well with like posters and all kind of things. And we're filming it, and then you put marketing director or the sales director, and you put the CEO on the table, and no, and they have all kind of votes around what is the best idea. You put someone. So 50% is people from the organization, and someone from Microsoft or Wordell, and you have 50% of people from the whole organization who can vote as well what is the best idea. And then in the upfront, the organization say, okay, this is the money that we want to spend around agentic AI for now, for the first ideas. And that works really nice because it's really their idea way of working. Yeah, the best idea is picked up for the organization, where everyone is thinking about, okay, this is what we need. This helps our organization. It's something from everyone. And yeah, you vote and you give like a prize of money for the best idea, and we are helping them creating that. And yes, we're talking now about like Copilot, but what I also see is not always Copilot. It is also like Azure AI Foundry, or it's a combination of what is the best idea or solution, and in the end, it all comes together. But it's interesting to do that, and as well helping on that part because people have first no idea, and second, how can we achieve this, and how can we build this by ourselves? So something like a fun way to do it is this.
Yeah, sure. And it helps because it's their idea. It will help them over the fear of giving away part of their process to an AI because they can see the benefit of it.
Yeah, and you have some sort of a boundary because everyone understands it costs money, right? Everyone who is going to build their own agents costs as well money because they are spending their time. Everyone need to find what best way, and now they understand, okay, this is the money that we have now for this fiscal or this quarter, or doesn't matter. And okay, next time we have new ideas, and you put that on the roadmap, and going to do that as well. And this works really, really nice. And new ideas popping up all the time as well. When they see from others, they say, okay, this is what we also can do. This is our CFO agent. This is awesome. We can do that as well with marketing, for example. So that's really, really nice. And I really like the idea to bring that marketing. And then we were talking about a little bit earlier, the chief co-pilot. It's a little bit, putting that in posters, sharing that story, having a jury. That's all a little bit as well on my job.
Yeah, and daring to be out there,
Yeah.
showing
So
yourself.
that's
Yeah.
really nice. I love it to do that kind of scenarios. Yeah.
And being chief co-pilot, do you see any what are some of the biggest misconceptions you see about Copilot?
I think in the beginning everyone has like a way of high expectation, and I think a lot of people had that in the beginning, and it was not always what they expect. I think when we see all the technology companies who putting all the new technology in the world right now, it's a lot, and everyone is thinking about, okay, where do I need to start? What is where? So everyone wants to be the biggest and the best, I think, when you're thinking about the technology companies at the moment, and every month new things coming out. So I think that's something that people really frustrates for what is
Yeah.
new, and I totally understand that. And the I think everyone has the idea they can lean back now. So first you have the expectation that they think, okay, now Copilot is going to do my work. But one of the things, and as one of my sessions I give a lot, is that I really, really want to help people around how not to use Copilot. So some things is, for example, we have Copilot in Teams, we have a meeting, and then we have we can summarize that meeting. Everyone is doing that, and Microsoft built it that way that you think, okay, I need to summarize this because that's the prompt that is there. But no one needs to have like a summarize from the meeting. Everyone has something why that meeting is there, right? They want to have a client updates, or they want to have so you always have something why you have a meeting. So it's better to have, like, for example, put out a transcript and use that for your email, or use that for your Word documents, and not only to summarize things that not is really accurate with all the things that you really wanted to have out of the meeting. And I think that kind of things, there are so many things that will how do I say, workarounds around Copilot. I need to say it that way. I think that you have like more rules in your hands than people really know now.
Yes.
So I try to learn people that as well, because we are really we think that everything will come to us, and that's not how it works. We need to learn and adapt.
Yeah, so the Copilot in Word does not solve your Word issues. You need to know how to use it and to adapt it to make it use. So the misconception being,
yes,
a tool is just a tool, and a fool with a tool is still a fool.
Yeah, that's true. That's nice. Yeah, that's true. And as well, like prompting, of course, is still a lot of people think, okay, Copilot will totally understand me as a person.
Yeah.
But that's, of course, not the way how it works. So you really need to think about who you are at that moment. And that's not Femke Cornelissen, Chief Copilot, but now I'm creator, for example.
Yeah.
That's really difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, and we James and I were talking about this the other week, that the GPT-5 release was not perceived very well because the prompting needs to be different than in GPT-4. So we also need to adapt our way of talking to the machine every now and then, and that's something that people find very annoying. That takes a bit to get used to.
What I will say about that, and I think is really helpful, is OpenAI did put out their prompt optimizer. So you can put your prompt in, and then it reconfigures it to the language that will get you the best result out of GPT-5. So, and I've been using that myself, and I found it really helpful. One of the questions I have around Copilot, I've got access to ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot. I'm finding it hard to adapt to Copilot because I'm so used to ChatGPT. Is there any kind of tips you can give someone who is, has been kind of ingrained with like ChatGPT and how kind of Copilot differs, or because I kind of feel like I'm not getting the most out of it at the moment.
Yeah, I totally understand you. I think a lot of people are using a lot of ChatGPT and now figuring out if Copilot is already that far and if they can stop the ChatGPT licensing and go fully into to Copilot. So I think it's really interesting to think, okay, what kind of scenarios in my work are there with the applications of Microsoft, of course, but you have as well now memory in Copilot that helps. It really helps to put that in, and you can put
Can you
in
put
now
instructions in Copilot as well?
instructions as well, and
Okay,
that's
yeah, got
like
it.
since a few weeks, so that helps
Yeah,
to
okay.
better
So
understand
you
it.
can tell it, this is my role, this is what I do on a
Yeah,
daily basis. Don't talk to me, take out all the M dashes, all that kind of stuff. Okay, perfect.
always
Okay,
in
I need to
bullets,
do that.
that kind of
Start.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you can ask, of course, on ChatGPT what kind of things you need to put in Copilot that he already knows from you
Yeah.
from your. So that will helps. And yeah, I think one of the things that I really like is for example when you build your agents and you can use that agent as well in your PowerPoint. So or in your Teams meeting, that's as well now. So that you have like a meeting and you can ask that agent because there is an integration of that around this sort of topic. So for example, I talk with a customer about Copilot in this case, and I ask our Copilot agent where all the products and all our information around Copilot in our organization is in, that I can ask that agent right away that kind of questions and put it then in the chat or in the meeting. So it's the integration I think that will get better and better in the future.
And can it, this is another question I have. Can you like give it access to your OneDrive as well, like to get to know you better as well and what you work on?
I need to say the OneDrive is like with an agent part is sort of difficult, I heard. So it's more like the SharePoint sites that you can
Okay.
use on your agent. But I think you can also do like a different kind of OneDrive documents that you can say, okay, this is the document that we want to put the agent on. So yes, but it's integrated with your OneDrive as well. So I think depends on what kind of questions you going to ask and what you want to achieve.
Okay.
But there is
Okay.
something that
Yeah.
probably can work. But yeah, it's funny that you say OneDrive because I think OneDrive is like Copilot and OneDrive is one of the features that we see is not really used a lot. People going to the chat or going to mostly the chat, I think, or Teams.
Yeah.
And for example, what you can do in OneDrive is like making a podcast from your PDF document and say, okay, 1 in 10 minutes listening to this whole document instead of
Okay.
that's in OneDrive.
Okay,
But
so similar to Google Notebook LLM.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I did not know.
Now I got you right. No.
That's
And
cool.
you have, for
It's not
example,
replacing us on the podcast. That's just for me to learn stuff. That's cool though.
Yeah.
No, like no, that's a good tip. I like that. Okay.
but the other
Yeah,
thing
no,
is,
because I do like
another-
listening to things. That I kind of learn more than if I'm just reading something. I get a bit distracted when I'm reading stuff. So I do like. So that's a good approach. I like that.
yeah, you can also go to the lab, Copilot Lab. If you go there, you search that, or I need to say Bing, right? You need to search on Bing. No,
Yeah.
if you go to Copilot Lab, you can. You don't have any license. You don't need any licensing. You just need to private Copilot is that. So it's not a business one. But you don't need to have any license. The lab you can use to there are all kind of things that Microsoft now working on and testing. And one of the things there is as well that you can make a story or a podcast as well. So I asked Copilot a few weeks ago, make a podcast about me, Femke van Ernissen. And it was like I was really I know it of course with Google LM that was really good. But now I ask the same in Copilot, and there were all kind of things in it that I said in different kind of sessions, or that I used with my presentations or that I used online on LinkedIn. And then I was, whoa, this is so good. It's really awkward to make a podcast about yourself, of course, but but yeah, you test sometimes that kind of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you see a lot of the things there already happening, and you see, okay, this is something that will come in probably the business as well. And when I go back to the OneDrive, there were more things that people really don't know. And I think this is really the problem with at this moment around the Microsoft technology and Copilot, that everything's goes so fast. But people really don't know what to use and what we can do. But one of the things in OneDrive is that you can separate. So you can say this is something from this customer and this is something from this customer, and we want to I want this document to let's come together, or say, okay, what's the difference between this one and this one? So it comes with you back with all kind of information. You think, okay, this is really nice. When I buy something at Rotel, it's this price. When I buy something at there, it's this price. This is a difference. This is you get so much information back, and that's in OneDrive where you can do that kind of things as well. And what you see now, and it's not especially in OneDrive, but it's more in the create space. I don't know if you heard about that in the chat. So in chat, you can create as well a lot of things. And for example, you can edit your pictures. So you can upload a picture, and you can say, okay, I want the background that it's gone, or you can create a design like a PDF, and when you think back what I say in the beginning with your transcript and the things you want to achieve. So if you have your chat or create button and you say, I put there the transcripts from that meeting in, then you have like really goals for your next things that you want to do.
You can create multiple resources from one source.
And that's my thing, how I do a lot of things in my work is, okay, I think like always 4 times what is the thing that I want to achieve? What is the things that I want to make? These are the questions that I need to ask in my meeting, because this is what I need for my next steps as well. And then I'm actually not in saying summarize this, but then I go to the different kind of documents. So it's like my PowerPoint presentation or the chat or the PDF. And then I make promotion for LinkedIn. Then I make, so all that kind of things come all together. And then I also put that like on my blog or on LinkedIn on an agent that knows how I do my communication. So yeah, I think that's what people really don't see. They see it a lot of, okay, it's nice to have my meetings, right? But thinking so many steps.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think that's where a lot of people are kind of stuck, is like, oh great, I have a transcript of my meeting, that's great, but then being able to utilize that for looking at what can I spin out a PDF or a document or a presentation or oh wow, or whatever you need. So yeah, no, I think you're right that some of the parts of it are kind of undervalued.
True. And I think that's the one where you say, okay, the difference between ChatGPT and Copilot, it's you need to start somewhere to get this under control. And with ChatGPT, you will see you only ask and generate something, and you put it out, and then you put it in your system again or something like that. But there are workarounds to do this. Yeah.
And one of the other questions I had around this was, obviously in ChatGPT you have custom GPTs which are specific. Can you build something similar within Copilot?
Yes, so you have the agents part, but you as well have notebooks. So you have different, I don't know, do you know the difference between notebooks and agents? It's notebooks is more for yourself. So you could say this kind of OneNotes I want to put in, this kind of documents I want to put in from SharePoint or OneDrive. And you can you build a sort of small agents there
Mhm.
that you can ask questions around that kind of
Specific
documents
topic.
that you put in, topics.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, you can build your agent as well, where you can say, okay, this is for just one conversation agent asking questions, or when this happened, we want to make a task around it, so it's going to do actually things for you, or autonomous when you don't need to do things by yourself, but you let the agent work for you, and that's of course really scary for some organizations to to do that. But that's also what we're seeing now, that really a lot of organizations stepping in right now.
So
And I think
moving.
that's a little bit a custom ChatGPT that you say, okay, you feed
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
with the information, you
Mhm.
and one of the misconceptions there as well is I think that a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to build it and then it's done, right? But I see there as well that it's something returning that you need to, okay, is this the best response? Okay, I need to tweak my agent and make it better. And the other thing is that we also see, and I always think about when we go to the online platform, Microsoft platform with all the documents on SharePoint, for example. What we saw years ago is that we needed to learn again to think about this version 1, version 2, version 3. We put everything on SharePoint, and now we have version history, so we don't have to do that anymore, all the documents. And what we see now is a lot when we see customers with agents, then it's like, okay, this is an agent, these are the documents on different kind of SharePoints or OneDrives or all kind of documents we put together. And then people are going to delete that kind of documents because everyone can change the documents, they can delete documents. And then we have the agents who can do the work anymore because the documents are not where the document needed to be. So everyone is creating agents, testing out, keep it by themselves. Sometimes people don't know that people are using agents. So it's really important to have a conversation. Why are we having this? With which kind of people are we going to share this? Permissions around the agents and saying, okay, this kind of document needs to stay here, otherwise the agent can work. So if you have like task or you have autonomous agents, it needs to be there and doesn't need to change. So this is a new, it feels a little bit the same as before, right? That we say a new way of working with putting documents on the SharePoint instead of my own personal.
And in terms of autonomous agents, have you seen what sort of use cases are you seeing around autonomous agents? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've seen a few. For example, when someone is calling to to an to an office and someone on the phone has a problem, that the autonomous agent is already knowing what the problem was before or knowing what kind of things that person going to ask because they already called before. So that's one of the things that I see in customer situations, that they have like really some person on the phone and the autonomous agent doing the first reflection there. But what I also see is, for example, there is someone else from that organization, still a person is there as well. And the autonomous agent gives them information about what will be the next question that they get. But as well, I give you information around that customer that already called 3 times. So it gives them more information that normally they will search in the system, the data that is already there, but takes a lot of time to help the customer on the right way. And that agents do that kind of work. I don't know, it's really autonomous because it's not delivering work 100% on that way. But it's in my way, it's autonomous when something happened and we didn't start it, right? So it's the phone call. So in my opinion, it's autonomous because the phone call is the first trigger that started there. Of course, there are so many other autonomous use cases that you can think about. Is someone who's having recruitment, someone sending the CV, okay, you can think about this the first step. What is the next step? What the autonomous agent is going to do in that kind of way? Going to search for, is this a good fit with our with the person that we want for our organization? And we're going to send that, for example, to our recruitment team with first things that we want to compare. Is this a fit with the person? Is this a fit with the job that we have in our organization? This is what the agent is giving back to need to look at. No, that kind of things I see a lot.
And just in terms of the agents, obviously, I was reading a LinkedIn post from Christian Brinkhoff the other day, and he was talking about how they now have computer use. So that's the next step forward, that it can take actions on the computer. Have you?
Yeah,
have you
that's
seen
interesting, right? Yeah.
That's where things get interesting.
Yeah, I talked with Christian about this as well. I think 2 weeks ago we said, okay, this is something that we don't need anymore in the future. So we going to have PCs without keyboard. It does.
That kind of feels to me for a couple of reasons. I'm thinking primarily of my daughter she has dyspraxia, so fine motor skills are quite difficult. So when she's typing, I can see it. She's really struggling. So if we're actually moving away from that, I can see that being really beneficial for kids that like her who have these kind of restrictions. So yeah, no, in some ways I'm like, yes, that could be really helpful. But then I'm like, you're giving them complete access
and control. Yeah,
and control. Then as myself and Gurjan have talked about before, is this my utopia where I get computer use to do my expenses for me? Because that would be awesome. Say, here's my OneDrive, here's everything, go make my expense report. Because if that's what computer use can be used for, I'm all in favor of that, because that is the most laborious, boring task I have in my job. So, and I'm sure most people don't enjoy doing the expense. Especially when you I'm in November. I've got 3 trips back to back. I'm looking forward to the trips. One of them is I'm going to Ignite in San Francisco. So are you going to be there?
I don't know yet, but probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Try to.
Okay. But I've got 3 back to back, so that's 3 sets of expenses. I'm gonna have to keep all the receipts and everything. And if I could just say to an agent on my machine, go sort them out for me, it'd be brilliant.
I've seen the budget agents, so that you can put that in your all your receipts to put in the agent, and then at the end you have like an Excel that everything comes together. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to get details of that off you, because I need that. It just annoys me. It only happens 1 or 2 times a year because I don't travel constantly. It's just there's a couple of times a year where and yeah, it's a bugbear of mine. I've talked about this to Gurjan. I've talked about it to previous guests as well. Like when we first started last year, we were talking to Brian Matten, and we were talking about computer use, and that was my thing with computer use. Was like, that's what I wanted from it. But as you say,
I think that's interesting.
That's the thing with Copilot. It's already integrated into everything I have, so that's why it's a good use case for it, I think.
Yeah, and I think if you have like Copilot, you if you don't have Copilot, I think it's same. You see everywhere Copilot, right? If you don't have a licensing or whatever, it's everywhere. You cannot get away from it.
Everyone, if you have the right Office license, you have Copilot. Even if you're just using Bing, you have Copilot. If you're in the Microsoft ecosystem, which most people are, be it their job, schools, whatever, it's all like kids' school that they have an Office 365 account. My daughter accesses that. So yeah, it is just there and accessible.
But one of the things that we're going to see more and more, and I think a lot of people using that already on ChatGPT, is that you talk with the ChatGPT. Yes, we rely on this. Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with that just yet.
No?
No, You do?
Yep, looks like a charm.
Okay. No, it's just me. I feel more comfortable typing than, but I think yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird. But in some ways, like I started my first AI presentation I ever did. It was Robert Starr, Iron Man, and he had his 3 or 4 screens. He was talking to Jarvis, and he could just bring up 3D models. And I was like saying, "This is where we will get to." And computer use feels like that's the first step towards that, and then obviously the voice side of things will get better and better. As I think we
Okay.
talked about it before, is the voice stuff. And oh no, sorry, it was with a previous guest. We had done a transcription, and I put out a short clip, and it had one of some of the words it hadn't quite translated properly, because most of these AI systems are designed in America, so they're not used to the various different European dialects, and the transcript
There,
was wrong.
there are a few things that I see now, what you already have. You have like when you have like a meeting and you share a presentation, or you did something like a presentation with PowerPoint, you can go again to let's create button in Copilot, and you can say, so make a video around this. So it makes a video with all your speaker notes that you had in it, and you can share, resend it to all the people there. So it's not only the presentation or the recording that you did actually in that meeting, but you can also say, okay, here is my AI video around this. So that's something really strange to have an AI voice there with the speaker notes. But it's so interesting to think about as well that you can do that. Like, why do you need to record it? Because
Oh,
now you
okay.
can
So
do that as well. Or
someone missed the meeting. Oh
yeah,
yeah, I get it. So if someone missed the meeting, you could send the
yeah,
presentation and the AI generated
and
file with speaker notes, so they don't miss any
it's
of the
speaker.
context.
Yeah, and it's not that they just saying only the speaker notes. It make it like a whole story around it. So it's really, you can
Oh,
learn as well from it. It's really
okay.
interesting. So that's
Okay.
something that is really new and really interesting to find out. But what I also saw, and it was a few weeks ago when I was in Seattle, was someone from Microsoft who had like the phone and talked with Copilot and say, okay, when is my next meeting? Or please, can you make a task to do this and send this to Femke? So
Oh,
that's
can
the
do
next
that.
step. That it's not yet there, but it's
Oh,
announced
okay. Okay.
that
It's
will
coming there.
come
Yeah.
over. Yeah, so it gives you a perspective of where it's going, right? We all talk already with all kind of AI tools, but you can talk already to Copilot as well, but you don't can say put this in my agenda or that kind of things. But that will definitely come really soon, and that's something that's really interesting when you can think about, okay, we have so many things in our minds the whole day. Just saying put this there, and you have, when you think about what your way of working is, say put it in my to-do task, or I don't know. That kind
Yeah.
of things really going to help us. And again, I think that's the combination when you want to say, okay, ChatGPT versus Copilot. Okay, this will really help us in a lot of things in how we work and how we create, and gives you in the future as well. Oh, did you already did this task today because this was on your agenda? Okay, this is what I need, right? And no, it's not there, but I definitely believe this is something that's going to happen really soon.
Wow. So
I,
the
I,
future is looking bright. The
Yeah, I
AI
hope so.
future.
Yeah. So you need to go on Copilot.
yeah. I just realized for any Marvel fans, I called him Robert Stark. It's obviously Tony Stark. So anyone
Oh.
or anyone, before I get any hate from any Marvel people, apologies. It is Tony Stark, obviously.
I love this.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, awesome. So, we're looking ahead, looking at the future, things that will come. How do you see your role as chief Copilot and Copilot itself evolving in the coming years? Because I
Yeah,
feel AI development is going in a mental speed.
true.
Do
I
you see
think
that?
so. One of the best things in my role is keep people inspired and sharing what's new. And I love to break that down in an easy way, I think, with cheat sheets and with all kind of things that it's easy to learn, and being a platform for people who are doing that and building communities around it so others can grow as well and learn as well. So yeah, I think my role will definitely change in the future. I think I have now like 8 agents around me who are helping me with my role, so I can do as well more, and need to think about what is the impact that I make at the moment. So yeah, I think more the agentic AI places a lot to learn and a lot to share for everyone. So that's definitely one of my topics and the things that I really want to share more. And yeah, I don't know. I think it doesn't stop the AI. So my role will grow, probably not only on Copilot, but probably way broader on the workplace AI. But yeah, we will see.
Yeah, well, we did for looking into the future. James and I did a prediction last year, a prediction session at an event, and I think we got almost all of them wrong, right?
Yeah.
So
What
that's
was
to
it?
show.
Yeah. And just to plug our own session, it's EUC Forum on the 11th of November in London. And
Yeah.
so if you want to see us eat some humble pie, come along.
Yeah, there's a lot of humble pie to eat, because we said some things that we had the agentic AI covered, but all the other things we said are
nonsense.
less developed.
Yeah.
Or were nonsense. Yeah. But hey, we learn. But that's
Sometimes
the funny
that
thing.
happens.
Yeah, exactly. We
It
were
could
way
be
too
this-
optimistic, but yeah. Anyway, we will be going through all of that in our presentation. Femke, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast, and
thank you.
I have lots to go off and play with now in Copilot, so I hope people are similar, because so I'm going to go off play with Copilot now for the rest of the day. So that's cool.
That's nice.
You got
Thank
another
you.
believer, Femke. Another one.
Yeah, this is my role, right? No, no, it's
So,
nice
yeah.
to be to be here. Thank you for the invite. It was lovely.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you'll agree to come back again in perhaps a year to talk about all the things that happen in between, because a lot of things are happening, and they are happening very quick. So
Sure.
next year we'll have a lot of other stuff to talk about. And for everyone who has been listening, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you the next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time.